When did it happen? Folks, when did it happen? When everybody just turned on The Rock. Oh, man. Oh, boy. Yeah, so I was scrolling through Instagram a couple of days ago and noticed The Rock, had posted a video in and out. I assumed it was some kind of repost because I mean I used to follow The Rock pretty closely. I was like, big into the, big fan of The Rock for years now, since I was a child, um, and really liked a lot of his content, the gym stuff. You know, I enjoy waking up at 5 a.m. because one time I was one of those people waking up at 5 a.m. to go to the gym. And I enjoy looking at his Instagram posts, and and I also enjoy looking at his cheat meals, right? So I assume this was some kind of repost because I know for sure he's ate it in and out before, right? I was like, I know he has. I know he has. I mean, this is, just, The Rock being The Rock, and I just assumed it was some kind of repost of some kind, right? So, so then last night, I'm going through my YouTube, my YouTube feed, my homepage, or whatever, and I see Moist Critical uploads a video, and the thumbnail is The Rock, and it hits The Rock at the drop through it in and out, and I'm like, what's going on? What's happened here? What is going on? And it's something, the title is about like him lying or something. And my first thought was, oh, okay, he's maybe going to call him out because maybe he reposts stuff all the time and I just didn't notice. After, a couple of years, it would seem familiar, but I wouldn't really be 100% sure because, I don't, I'm not like a stalker. I don't memorize his videos. So I'm like, okay, maybe this is what this is about. I click on it. No, I'm wrong. The Rock didn't re-upload him eating that In and Out for the first time. He just straight up acted like he was eating it In and Out for the first time for the third time apparently. I was like, wow, okay. So my jaw was on the floor as I watched Moist Critical's video, just completely just in shock. Not really, but for the purposes of the video, I was like, okay, wow. So yeah. So then I realized it a while ago, around the time of Black Adam coming out. Up until then, I felt like The Rock, I mean, he wasn't like a juggernaut, but The Rock was one of the few Hollywood names left where just him being in something, people would at least check the movie out or at least know of his existence, right? And then around the time of Black Adam, when Black Adam didn't do too well, and then he really hopped it up back to like he was going to basically be taking over DC, and then it didn't happen. Then James Gunn came in, and what's his name? Shoot, the other dude, I can never remember that dude's name. The guy behind the curtain there, the guy you hardly hear about. Not James Gunn. We'll call him not James Gunn of DC there. Safran or something. James Safran? No, not James Safran. I feel like I don't know. But anyway. So yeah, that didn't happen. And then Black Adam kind of flopped pretty hard. And I felt like, I like Black Adam. I personally didn't think it was that bad a movie, is what I expected. It was, The Rock being Black Adam. I mean, I saw that whenever he was cast, a decade ago. But anyway, so there was no surprises there, especially if you'd seen the trailer as well. But then some other bad stuff came out. Apparently, he was trying to keep, Zachary Levi Shazam and the Black Adam separately, and he wanted to move towards a fight with Superman. So he brings back Henry Cavill for like literally 2 seconds into the DC Extended Universe, and people there for a minute were like, yeah. Then all this other bad stuff, all this other stuff's coming out. So people about that time, I felt like were publicly turned on The Rock. I mean, there was some stuff here and there, and there's always been kind of a running joke that he's kind of a fake actor, and I think Moist Critical talks about that a lot too, that he's more of a fake personality. But yeah, I mean, a lot of actors are, so it's kind of hard to be on. Some are just much better at than others, and some are less obvious than others. Like Ryan Reynolds, freaking great, love him. Probably one of my favorite actors. If I had to pick, had to pick an actor right now, if he's not my favorite, I mean, he's my favorite Hollywood personality at this time. But I mean, I wouldn't be surprised to learn that, a lot of his stuff's fake, but I think he does sprinkle in enough of himself there to, and he's good at it. Solid and slide. And The Rock, I felt like for years was the same deal. People really let that slide. It was fine. Gal Gadot, another big example. A lot of people let a lot of stuff slide, and then there's been a little bit, after, with the Snow White stuff. When that was announced, I saw a little bit, with her. People talking out against her now, or turning against her, not really talking out. Yeah. So The Rock kind of has met the same fate here. People are criticizing him publicly, and Moist Critical, I mean, especially against YouTubers, he can definitely turn the tide against a YouTuber for sure. The Rock's not a YouTuber; he's a much bigger deal than just a YouTuber. So I feel like I feel like this could turn the tide for some general people that maybe didn't realize that people were, I guess, talking badly about The Rock, or we're kind of seeing through his facade. And I mean, yeah, I feel like this year, like technically it's still 2023 whenever Moist Critical put that out, like on the 30th of December. So I feel like if historians look back one day and they look back and they're like, when did the people's champ kind of not become the people's champ? When did people really start turning on him? I feel like 2023 is going to be that year. And I feel like the big things for some people will be the Black Adam movie, everything around that. I mean, all the behind the scenes stuff going on about him being just whatever, and him, the whole thing with his liquor. Even Moist Critical points us out, him pushing that liquor hard. And even I think at the party, I think he really wanted his liquor. It's like whole deal. Like at the after party, he was really pushing to have his liquor there, which I get it. I mean, he's a producer on the movie, so whatever, So I get it. He has a little more pull, and he was a big star of the movie. I get that, but I mean, there was a lot of other little things that you were hearing around that time that were not favorable. So yeah, I feel like that for me, that's whatever it was for me. But I thought Moist Critical is going to bring a lot more eyeballs to this, and maybe even other YouTubers will follow suit, kind of like I am. Don't get me wrong, I don't hate The Rock. I see The Rock for what The Rock is. I see what he's doing, and I think he's a businessman. He's always been a businessman. He's always been a smart businessman, and he comes from professional wrestling, and that's an extremely selfish business. And you have to be extremely selfish. All the big stars, Hulk Hogan. I mean, that doesn't work for me, brother. That's almost like a meme, Especially if you watch all the wrestling channels, because they didn't work for him, brother. I mean, lots of big, selfish personalities, and those are the ones that make it big in wrestling. Especially up until a certain point. I mean, John Cena, lots of stuff. I mean, he straight up just got dudes buried, got dudes fired. The Rock has refused to work with people because of personal grudges. He refused to do a lot of business with Shawn Michaels at one point. I mean, they had a little bit, but not a lot. But once he got big enough, once he got that stroke, he wasn't doing business with Shawn. And Shawn Michaels, another huge example. Look at the Montreal Screwjob, folks. You can say what you want to say, but man, even if he didn't come to Vince and be like, I want this to happen, he was definitely part of it. I mean, he definitely took place in it. He was a big, say what you will. I mean, yeah, there was a lot of stuff around that time. And I know he was, a party animal and what have you. But yeah. So The Rock. The Rock is no different. Stone Cold. I mean, we can go through the list here. Roman Reigns. I'm sure a lot of people right now that are big names right now, I'm sure they're making some selfish moves and they're being businessmen. And that's the best wrestlers, really. The ones that can balance it all. And The Rock, arguably, if he's not like the top guy to do it and be super successful at it on all fronts, he's up there, right? I mean, he's more successful. I mean, Stone Cold, you could say Stone Cold and Hulk Hogan were more successful in wrestling, but outside of wrestling, if you combine it all, mush all together, I mean, Stone Cold And Hogan pale in comparison to The Rock's career after wrestling or outside of wrestling. John Cena's trying to do his own thing, but still, John Cena pales in comparison. John Cena, I mean, he's done some great movies, and he's kind of taken the path that the Rock took. And I feel like Roman Reigns will eventually do the same thing, but it's not like The Rock level. I mean, The Rock really blazed that new path. He took what Hulk Hogan had tried to do and really 10x'd it, and really had a good team around him, and that's probably why The Rock feels the way he feels very not super genuine, because I mean, hey, that's The Rock. He's making moves. I mean, the man's making the money. I mean, you can't hate the man for that. I mean, he is a personality. At the end of the day, that's him. I mean, that's The Rock. I mean, whatever's left of, Dwayne Johnson in there, that's him. That's just how he is. He's still making money. He's still doing his thing. One thing, though, this isn't wrestling, so you can't really do a heel turn and it still work out, like it would in wrestling, where people are still going to love you for being such a good heel. It's not really going to work on Instagram, or whatever else, the internet, period. So, yeah. But, I mean, what I think that what he could do is take some more diverse roles, and instead of, and there's also been rumors, I mean, the Fast and the Furious movies, I mean, there were, several of the people in there don't want to straight up lose a fight in the movies because it makes their character look weak, right? I mean, that's definitely, that's one of those things that, they got that pull, so they're, really trying to, do that. But yeah, it's going to be interesting. But anyway, my point is, one of the ways I think he could turn around, and, who the hell am I? What I know, I don't know what I'm talking about here. But maybe play villains, like true villains, because Black Adam in the comic books a lot of times is a true villain, right? And he just made him an anti-hero. Still doing that, I think, making Black Adam a true villain of the film, and maybe giving him more of like that Loki redemption arc where down the line, maybe there's that possibility. But, I think that would have probably played out a lot better, and especially if you'd have brought in maybe Zachary Levi at the end, that'd been a hell of a movie. And then the Justice League of America or whatever, Hawkman and them, and then Shazam all had to team up to take him out. That would have been pretty good. And then at the end, maybe, he's Black Adam's like imprisoned, right? Or whatever, and then you bring in Henry Cavill to talk to him or something. At the end, you're like, ooh, what's happening here? Or something, or maybe there's something there that, it's like a bit redeeming about him. Maybe he like I know he kills some people in the movie, so yeah, that type of thing. Maybe say somebody's about to die, like whoever, Adam Smasher's about to die in the movie, and then he saves him or something. But anyway, my point is, maybe play some more actual true bad guy roles and do that. And I think that would help him a lot. I think that'd build a lot of goodwill, and maybe show him, I know he's done some goofy roles in the past. Maybe some sillier roles. Maybe take the Arnold route. People loved Arnold, Jingle All the Way. People loved him when he started playing more regular people. I mean, I just watched Jingle All the Way with my kids a couple days ago. I mean, it was freaking Arnold. And that movie was definitely not written for the Arnold type, but it worked, and it worked great. Anyway, my point is, guys, everybody's turning on The Rock. Maybe my mom will change later. Maybe he'll do something or say something, but he's not that much different than he's been the whole time. So, yeah. So I don't really see a reason to turn on him. He's fine.